The votes are now open. You can go ahead and vote for your favorite creature that is going to get included in ARK Ascended. So get your votes together and ready, and let's have a look at some of these new dinosaurs and have a look at this week's crunch. So we're looking at community crunch 358 today, the community creature open voting event. Woo! And this is going to determine who gets their creatures included in ACER. So really exciting stuff for a few individuals. So here you go. So let's have a little look at these and see what they're all about before we decide to actually vote on them. One thing I do want to mention as well that people do not remember in voting is remember, if it's too OP, there's a big likelihood a wildcard will not include it. I think the recent creature vote is a great example of this, where it's supposed to be like a sky giga of such. Of course, things that are a little bit too OP like that, or maybe quite unbalanced in PvP, do remember they would want to balance it, so they might not include OP features. So make sure you keep your thinking cap on, and let's have a look at some of these. First, we're looking at the, and I'm going to butcher a lot of these, Gigatoraptor. Gigatoraptor? Gigatoraptor? Gigantoraptor. Yeah. I'm not, yeah. Raptor thing. The ultimate battle nanny, huh? So this is going to be a new dino coming in. Egg stealing. What is this? Artwork. Oh wow, that actually looks really pretty. I wouldn't mind one of those in the map. So from reading this, it looks like you would tame it like a Megatron. Oh, that might be a bit dicey, but there you go, it does work. If you egg steal, you have to stay stationary. Ooh, that's interesting. It would join the Maywing and Procoptodon valuable nursery aid. Ooh, functioning like a blend of an air conditioner and the S Plus nanny. That sounds really good. I was thinking about Acer, and since you won't have Genesis for a while, like Gen 2, you're not going to have Maywings, so having something that helps with breeding could be really nice for Acer, because you're not going to have Maywings for a while, and that's what people use these days. However, they did say something about they are altering that system, so I don't know how they're going to change it, but it does sound interesting. But this one is super cool, and if you want to read up on it in complete form, remember it'll always be in the description down below, the full links and everything. Looking at the giant mower from my friend Captain Fat Dog. That's kind of cute as a little avatar, I didn't realise. He's got a little nose and sniffing around. This idea is really cool, like a mini base on top of a giant mower. Just sounds awesome. I haven't really seen, well, you see it like in Kraken's mod, you see things like this where you have platforms on crabs and stuff, and it's been really fun in the past to do that. So if that's an option for the mower as such, that would be really awesome. So this creature acts as a traveling companion egg transporter, so it reduces the weight of eggs and incubates them as well by sitting on them, much like how you would see emus or ostriches sitting on eggs. I imagine this will be the same here, and it will be a seed harvester. So this sounds interesting. And a taming aid, mobile clay farm. That would definitely be something really useful, because a lot of the time if you're living in the cliffs on Scorched, you need to go out and get a lot of cactus sap and sand, because it's not there. So that might be handy having something like that. And the edits of his Photoshop pictures are really great on this one as well. So a strong contender. Now we're looking at the Armadillosuchus. Faso for short, there you go. Looks like a giant iguanodon of sorts. He looks really cool though, giant lizard. He reminds me of the Conan lizards almost, that you can get that spit like green stuff at you. Favors armored creatures, carnivore. Ooh, he's a bit of a spicy boy. This dude has an intense gripping bite, so with its strong jaws it's able to immobilize a rock elemental if high enough level. Works like a giant bear trap. That could be really handy. I always have trouble taming rock elementals. Yep. Has a crush ability for armored dinos in its grasp. Dodic, Anki, Carbo, Stego, etc. Doesn't take damage from a Kentro, tech dinos and stuff. Oh, that would actually be useful, because I don't think we really have too much that helps against armored dinos. I don't know if they would include it for that reason, but it could be an interesting counter that you could have. It has a trap, crush, and swipe attack. heat resistance and sandstorm protection. That would be really nice because the storms can get a bit annoying on Scorched. And just in general, I love this little picture. That's so cute. So yeah, tons of information here. I always love how much information people will include on these dinosaurs and stuff and how much thought goes into it. Next creature is the fuzzy jumping spider. So there you go. Oh, it actually looks kind of cute. That's not something you'd often say about a spider, huh? But yeah, this little creature, little jumping spider, kind of reminds me of the small ants ones that bob around. They're really cute, actually. There's an ability to cast nets and venom droplet. Ooh, goes together. Latching, locking on, scary face. That could be pretty good. And it has a dance. I mean, come on. It sounds really cool. I don't know if people would be fond of having another spider in the game. No, that's the only thing. But if it was cute, you can get away with it. Silk and venom and potential personalities. Oh, so maybe it can like passive generate some of these. Oh, that would be really nice. Oh, little jumping spider. Not everybody's favourite creature in the world, but could be a cute addition. Now we have the return of the Gorgo Knobs. So, the Gorgo Knobs, there you go. They have tiered it to be Scorched Earth, well, tiered this time by the looks of it, because it was on the last vote. But this time it's a powerful death worm hunter and a weather counter. And we always like a bit of a weather counter on the map with the harsh weather. Especially when it comes to heat waves and all of that, and sandstorms especially. It definitely has some interesting abilities that are actually tiered to the storm, which is a really interesting way of looking at it. Unlike other creatures that, I don't know, don't really do it or help you against the storm. So heat wave is more aggressive, has greater damage and health regeneration, modified bleed, so it could be a bit like a filer in that way, I suppose. Electrical storm, speed and stamina is now greatly increased. Oh, it goes all Pikachu mode. Sandstorm does not lose stamina and gets a passive detection which highlights nearby creatures. Ooh, kind of like the snow owl then? And then it can camouflage itself like a rock drake by the sounds of it. It reminds me of like a Ravager in a way, this, but without the ears. Like they got the Ravager and they chopped its ears off. I think he definitely suits Scorched Earth theme though, this dude. The Gigatoraptor, a constrictor, the egg tyrant. He definitely looks very cool. Having playing Conan a lot, I'm very, very familiar with constrictors. There's a lot of them. But how about ARK, huh? We do have the Titanoboa, kind of useless, but could this be the improved version that lives in the desert? Apparently it works like a constrictor too. It can drain oxygen from creatures, which is pretty crazy. From reading this as well, it would have like a little mini game. You know how you have the mammoth war drums and you have to click on the beat to escape its grip? You play a little mini game. That actually sounds really cool. I love the sound of more interactability when it comes to like PvP scenarios like that. That could be really awesome that way. This little guy sounds pretty cool. So they constrict things. Oh, it could be really cool idea to see this thing come in. We have the War Machine next. Is the desert version of the Bastion Beetle. Again, like I say, if it's too OP for PvP, you gotta be careful because Wildcard probably will not include half the features because they have to balance it, okay guys? Otherwise you'd have an incredibly unbalanced game. But let's have a read of this guy and see how different he is from last time. This is another last time contender. Up for the votes again, very popular as well apparently. For this one it has a aerial grab. It can grab medium and medium large creatures, so you can carry large dinosaurs. Walk like a god, both can climb and cling to any surface. I do like that feature, that sounds really good. And ground flapping. Kind of like a wyvern. Chemical spit. When threatened, the Bastion can release volatile acid. And for those that threaten it. Ooh, okay. It can harvest cactus sap really good and has a buzzed buff. Ooh. This increases its melee damage and stamina and mobility. Very interesting. And then it has a bunch of other features in here. Fire resistance, extra damage to tech turrets. See, these things, extra damage to tech turrets, guarantee you they probably would not add that in. It's just how they've done things in the past. They don't tend to do it. But all that being said, we're just seeing how you could use it kind of like an Armadillosuchus by the looks of it. It could be a pretty cool addition. But again, you have to rely on will wildcard at it, I suppose. Oh gosh, this is going to be a hard one to say. The Leduma Hardy. I don't know if I said that right. A cutie. The brutal brawler of scorched earth. Ooh. Might have to take this one with a grain of salt again. So apparently for this one, it has a different type of armor that you can get. Very interesting. You can upgrade it to like a platform saddle. So apparently you can use the parts to make different weapons. So that's an interesting take. You can swipe attack, thunderclap. Definitely sounds like a Pokemon ability. Bleed and tail attack and sharpen claws. So this sounds really interesting. It does damage to rocks and trees and stuff like that. So good for harvesting, I suppose, as well. And the creature actually looks super cool. I like the idea of this one. It kind of reminds me of the Therizino. And it had kind of like sexy time with like a Diplo or something. But something like this looks really cute actually. I kind of like the dynamic of that. And that's the armor and the new weapon you would get from this creature. Whether we'd get that or not, that'd be interesting. But I've always said, it's always been such a shame since kind of like Aberration time. You don't get as many skins anymore for the DLCs and stuff like that. Because you remember Scorched Earth, it gave us tons of new stuff, like the Manticore stuff, the different weapon skins, and throughout the updates, it kind of just, you know, dwindled off that way. So it would be awesome to see more custom armor and stuff like that. Next, we have the Armadillosuchus, which I can say pretty well, so thank goodness for that. This one actually looks cool. It kind of reminds me of a roll rat, so I don't know if it would be too similar to that or not. As a tongue grapple though, that actually sounds really fun, but chaotic at the same time, and I do like a bit of chaos in my life, you know. It's big, deadly, and it likes to boom your house, apparently. It's a wrecking ball, so that could be interesting. You're trying to live in your house, someone just bashes through your front doors on one of these things. That could be pretty scary. Latch and reel, they have... they knock the dinosaur back. That could be a really interesting way to do it. It does have weaknesses though. Fire, plant Z. I always really appreciate it when people put weaknesses down on these. So they're not all like super, you know, Superboy, Superman kind of creatures. So it's always awesome to see people thinking of the other spectrum as well of how to balance these creatures. So this one seems really cool. Don't know if it's too similar to the Roll Rat for me, but it is a very cool concept, and maybe ARK could kind of jazz it up a little bit as well. And finally, we have the Mape Macrothrax, hopefully I'm saying that right, which actually started going top of the charts really early within the voting phase. This one has been extremely popular, so I would be incredibly interested to see how it turns out in the voting polls, because sometimes things can surprise you that way. Anyway, kind of reminds me of like a Baryonyx, but not really at the same time. It could be like a Dimetrodon Baryonyx kind of thing, but without the fin sail. So apparently this thing is going to be a unique debuffer. It's able to cripple creatures with a special slash. Apparently also, if an attack connects, it can drain all the target's stamina and force it to land if it is a flyer. This could be absolutely deadly to a Wyvern rider or such, because their health, they can be very squishy because of their armor and they don't have a saddle. So this could be like the Wyvern counter right here. This could really help with killing Wyverns. Also has a crippling wound. If used on a land or water creature, this debuff will decrease their movement speed. Again, very deadly. It will slow you down. It has reduced fall damage, which I always really like that, because using the filer and being able to hop around everywhere without, you know, hurting its pinky toe. Apparently you can also use the different talons you get from Wyverns to like imbue them with different abilities like corrosive acid, electricity, fire. So this sounds like a really cool idea and really well thought out when it comes to how it integrates into the map itself. So I love the sound of that. Apparently this one has also been using a lot of suggestions from the community down below from what I read on the first bit, so that's really nice that they've included that. Very awesome. Love the suggestions here. And I will definitely be doing my vote, but I don't want to vote in front of you guys because I don't want to sway your votes, and I want it to completely come from you and not from me. So whatever one you prefer, remember to position it in like the right way you want it to, and then make sure you do a little submission. And let's see some awesome submissions make it to the new ARK that's upcoming and soon. Apart from that, is there any other news? Let's have a look. They still are talking about their Easter Eva event, so that's going to last for another 2 days, ends on the 24th of April, so make sure you get your colours in before that if you are interested in that and all that. They're also going on about their Conquest Season 5. They have included this in the last 3 crunches or so I'm not going to go over that today because they've already gone over it a bunch. Of course, they have the ARK Apocalypse and Beginner servers doing their reset monthly wipe, kind of like how Rust does it. And the Community Corner, which I'm actually really chuffed because they actually included me on this one and I got featured, so I'm really, really thankful for that. It absolutely brightened my day. I've been having a bit of a tough week, so this has been really nice to see, and thank you so much whoever made this crunch and popped me on it. I really appreciate it. And right beside Syntac as well, so that's really cool. It's got me blushing. And then we got a bunch of other awesome artwork, which I really love seeing, like people's artwork and screenshots in ARK. I don't know what it is about it. I just love art, like love seeing pretty pictures and different concepts of how people like do things. Oh, it's so pretty. I love all the styles. Amazing. Anyway, that is the crunch for today. Thank you for watching. I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.